He came quietly and he left quickly. He only spent about 5 hours on the ground in the capital, but he certainly packed quite a lot in during that time. He attended a war memorial. He paid his respects to fallen soldiers. He was hosted at the presidential palace by Volodymyr Zelensky. He met a small delegation of Ukrainians and, of course, held private talks with the Ukrainian president where we understand they discussed the ammunition and weapons shortages that Ukrainian soldiers are facing on the front line at the moment. Now, the pair also did a joint press conference together. That's where we learnt that the US will be offering about another $700 million in military aid to Ukraine, as well as launching a fresh round of sanctions against Russian individuals and corporations. But in that joint press conference, we got a glimpse into the relationship that has developed between the US president and the Ukrainian president, a sense of closeness. They really stood together as one against Russian aggression. We can take a listen to what they had to say a little earlier.
Freedom is priceless. It's worth fighting for as long as it takes. And that's how long we're going to be with you, Mr. President, for as long as it takes.
We'll do it.
Isabella, how did they manage to keep this visit secret?
I think it'll be remembered as a fairly well-kept secret. There were certainly a few whispers around in Kyiv in the last 24 hours, some hotels that were warning their guests that mobile comms were going to go down for a couple of hours, some streets that were closed down. That was making people suspicious. Obviously, US Ukrainian officials knew about this, but we learnt from the White House today that this trip was only confirmed on Friday, so just a few days ago. And interestingly, the White House spoke to Russian authorities just a few hours before the president left the US for Ukraine and let them know that this trip was happening as well. So we can imagine all the secretive talks that were going on, all the planning that's been going on for a few days. But it will certainly be remembered as a fairly well-kept secret. Quite a few surprised people in Kyiv and quite a few delighted people who were excited to see that show of solidarity between the US and Ukraine.